So when we do a retro review, we usually talk about more obscure games, the kind you'd probably overlook even back when they were first released. We normally end up focusing on Sega's 8-bit consoles, but this time we're stepping it up to the Genesis and taking a look at one of the most iconic Sonic spin-offs in the entire series, Sonic Spinball. This game was developed by Sega Technical Institute. You probably know them from games like Kid Chameleon and Comix Zone. It was released in all regions in late 1993, and it's become available for nearly every major gaming console since Dreamcast. It's also only the second Sonic spin-off ever, beating Mean Bean Machine to market by a few weeks and coming a few years after that thing. The concept is simple enough. Sonic gets trapped inside Eggman's Vego Fortress, a huge mechanical base that's somehow powered by a volcano? I don't know. Anyway, in order to get out, you have to collect a lot of Chaos Emeralds and navigate the base's pinball defense system. It's contrived and it's silly, but it's an excuse to curl Sonic up and whack him around, so really it doesn't matter that much. Besides, I don't need Oscar-caliber drama in my Genesis games, so I'll let it slide. Once you start playing, you'll find Spinball to be a fairly standard mascot pinball game. You bounce around the level and slam into all sorts of things: switches, enemies, level gimmicks, etc. After collecting all the Chaos Emeralds in a given stage, you bash against a boss until it explodes, and you get to play a cute bonus stage. Rinse and repeat until you win or you die. It's not particularly special, but the game employs a few tweaks to make the experience a little more unique, and its primary gameplay innovation is also its most important. You can control Sonic in mid-air. It's not much, but you can gently steer him around as you play, and this can come in handy when you need to hit a specific target or make that last little stretch toward a platform. This is a big deal because it fixes one of my biggest complaints with pinball games. They're very passive experiences. You don't really play all that much. You whack the ball when it comes near the flippers, sure, but you're largely spectating the rest of the time, just standing there watching. Now don't get me wrong, I still love pinball games, but sometimes I wish they were a little more actively engaging. Moving Sonic in the air helps players pay attention and play the whole time, and that's a big plus for me. Unfortunately, it doesn't make the game any easier. There are only 4 levels and they can get really long and really tough really quickly. Each stage can last upwards of 15, 20, 30 minutes, even longer if you're lost or really bad at it. Now this wouldn't be too big a deal if there was a built-in save feature, but there's not. So nothing gets saved if you die near the end of the game or you get bored and turn it off. It takes a lot of dedication to get to the last few levels, and that means that most players will simply never finish. Hell, this was the first time I'd ever even seen Showdown, and I had to force myself to get that far. And yes, I know there's a level select code, but it's long, it's obscure, and it's convoluted, so it's not exactly convenient. My point is that there's some deep progression issues at work, and sure, maybe I shouldn't expect the game to have a battery save, but a simple level select would have made the game much more accessible to casual players. It's a missed opportunity, and it's really unfortunate. Speaking of missed opportunities, can we talk about the boss fights? I hesitate to even use that term because they're not really fights, per se. The bosses just kind of sit there and wait for you to exploit their weak spot. It's actually kind of boring. More often than not, you'll end up fighting the stage itself more than the boss. The arenas are really claustrophobic, so you'll try to aim for that really specific spot that you need to hit and end up falling out of the arena altogether. It's frustrating. Why not widen the stages out? Make the bosses more interactive with specific gimmicks and obstacles. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, but I feel like a lot more could have been done with the boss fights, and as they are, they're pretty lackluster. Despite all of that, the one thing this game really does nail is presentation and personality. The graphics are vibrant, if not exactly varied, with enemies and levels all looking detailed and alive, despite a few glaring frame rate issues and the occasional interesting glitch. There's also a snarky score ticker that comments on the current state of your gameplay. It's a fun distraction, and it actually adds a lot to the overall experience. What I love the most, though, is the music. It perfectly captures that tinny, metallic synth that the Genesis was famous for. It just screams I was made in the 90s. Listen. The soundtrack is great, except for the options menu. That track is terrible. The songs can get really repetitive since the levels are so long, so you may be tempted to mute the TV at some point, but other than that, it's fine. And that's how I'd describe the game as a whole, actually. It's fine. It's not great, it's not stupendous, it's just fine. It's fun in short bursts, but it makes you try and play for hours at a time, even if you don't want to. The core gameplay and the presentation all work really well, but some of the design decisions end up getting in the way of the fun. So when you put it all together, Sonic Spinball gets 3.5 stars out of 5. It's a fun mascot pinball game with enough flaws to drag it down, but enough fun to be worth your time. Thanks so much for watching. If you're in the mood for some more reviews, you can check out our last retro review on Sonic Labyrinth. The remixes I used in this video came from Nico CW, and you should check his stuff out too. For more news, reviews, and information on all things Sonic and Sega, keep it here, TSSZnews.com.